Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next movie review. And back and reviewing another favorite of I highly enjoy this year. Because favorites ones I've enjoyed this year. I love *Malignant*. I reviewed that. I love *Willy's Wonderland*. I've enjoyed the *Suicide Squad*. But review another one. But this is. *Malignant*, *Willy's Wonderland*, and this film are my top three favorite films of this year. So for my top three, along with *Malignant*, *Willy's Wonderland*, it's not a horror film, but it's an action film, and that is of Nobody. Probably said this before though, but I said a lot of other ones before. I said with my favorite films this year. Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul, and I love this film. This is another great action film. I would put on the list of best action films I've seen in a decade, along with Dread and Hardcore Henry. Speaking of, this is the guy who directed Hardcore Henry. Yes, the director of Hardcore Henry directed Nobody, which is nice to see. He got another chance at directing another movie, and he pulled it off really well. Because I love Hardcore Henry. I think it's a very underrated action film that didn't deserve the crap it got from when it was released. Didn't deserve that. I love Hardcore Henry. It's a very badass action film. So I'm glad the director of that film got another chance to do a film like this, and he pulled it off very well. He did a really awesome job with this film. So yeah, and Bob Odenkirk did a really great job with this movie. Because he usually does comedies though, with of course a Better Call Saul though, but he really did it as an action hero in this movie. And all supporting cast members, you have Christopher Lloyd, who plays as dad. You have Connie Nielsen, who plays his wife. Raza RZA. That he's a rapper and direct. He's also directed a couple things though, but he started and directed in Man with the Iron Fist. That's one thing I know. I know he started directing that film. But here he did fine. And it was a really awesome action film. And especially also not only from the director of Nobody, but yet from the writer of John Wick. And that's why it's sort of like a little bit in the vein of John Wick. And that's one of the things I enjoyed about it. Bob Odenkirk was a very badass in this movie. He was. And it did get some praise from critics. Although not that much at the box office, because earlier this year was the time when the box office of the theaters were starting to open up a bit more. So it made $55 million worldwide. Sizable enough though, but if it wasn't for all of this, I'm sure it made a lot more money. But regardless of that, I love Nobody. And once again, Bob Odenkirk, a lot of things I liked about it, so I'll go through it here. How it opens up was when Bob Odenkirk as a guy named Hutch. His name is Hutch. He's interrogated by police. He's already beaten up, and he has a cat on the table. And when they ask you, "Who are you?" and then it comes the title card, Nobody. And I like it shows how it goes through his day-to-day life, like very quick, like garbage, work, like breakfast, garbage, breakfast, work, home, going back home. It repeats the same thing over and over again, showing how his day-to-day life is like very boring, but he has a family of his own. Sorry. And then it's a nice build of this guy's character, until one night there was a couple of burglars come in, and one holds a gun to him. He could have easily taken them out though. Even his son brought up, why did you take him? Why didn't you take him out? And which he later we found out the reason. So, and at his job, he also talks to his half brother on the radio, played by Arzia. And he also gets to talk with his father-in-law, played by Michael Ironside. And it was hey, it's cool, nice to see Michael Ironside. I haven't seen him in a long time, Michael Ironside from Scanners, Starship Troopers, Total Recall, Free Willy. I like Michael Ironside. It was nice to see him make an appearance in this. And then I found out that his daughter, is missing her kitty bracelet. So he goes to his father, played by Christopher Lloyd, who was in a nursing home, and he borrows his badge, which the Christopher Lloyd used to be in the FBI. So he borrows his badge and some money, and he goes and looks for because he knows that they have was the guy, I think it was the woman who has a tattoo. Had a tattoo on her arm. So there's a scene where I like that where he goes to this one shop. He's asking a guy who have you seen the designer of this tattoo? And first guy says, "Hey, I don't know, I don't want to help you, right?" And then there's another guy who's standing on one side right here. He sees a tattoo on Bob Odenkirk's arm, and then the guy just thank you for your service. And he goes and shuts the door behind him and locks all the locks in there and shuts the little window thing on the door, because obviously that guy knew what kind of guy Bob Odenkirk was, and I like that. And then all the other guys, like four other guys in the room, they all saw this and they were like, "Uh-oh," they kind of know something's up with this guy. So the guy who was talking to at first was like, man, how can I help you?" So I did like that, that one guy just automatically just goes and bails out because he knows who the guy Bob Odenkirk is, and then practically mentally scaring the other guy. He's like, okay, this guy's a lot not who he thinks he is. So I like that. And then he finds out he goes to their place, but finds out the reason why. That's why the son was asking, why did you take those guys out? Because he knew that those two burglars, they were scared, inexperienced, and they were desperate. They just needed some money. They were desperate. And then when they get to their place, they have a baby. And also, not only that, though, when the woman was holding them at gunpoint at their house, that the gun was empty. Yeah, it was empty. So the guy, the couple there, they were scared, desperate, and they just needed some money. So that's why he didn't hurt them. So he goes to their place. He knows that they have a baby there, and the kitty bracelet's not. The kitty bracelet's not there. And then when he takes instead of taking his frustration out on them, he goes and takes it out on himself by punching a brick wall. And then when he gets on the bus, which we saw in the trailer, which that still was a very badass fight on the bus. And the guy, Bob Odenkirk, he gets beaten up though. He gets beaten up, he gets tossed through the window, and then before he says, "I'm gonna fuck you up." Disarms his gun and says that like a badass. And you get a pretty brutal fight, like when a bad guy hits the back of Bob Odenkirk's head, and the guy just hurts his own hand on that. And then, like in the trailer, he beats this one guy, just gives him a punch him like this. Or he takes a piece of a pipe or a railing from the bus, whacks some guys with it, including this one guy who gets his throat cut, but then Bob Odenkirk, showing some compassion, takes a straw and puts it in the guy's neck so he can breathe. Showing some compassion. And then we get introduced to our bad guy, which I would say the bad guy, he's okay. he's not the best, so I could take him or leave him. Like, anyone can play this bad guy, this Russian mobster boss. But like, I guess some of those, he goes and shows the guy he means business. Like, he kills a guy with a martini glass, and he likes to sing karaoke as well. So that's like something about his character. Until we find out what happened to his brother, his younger brother, which was the guy on the bus who Bob Odenkirk put the straw in the neck. That was his brother, and he gets pissed and he starts beating the bad guy, the henchman, in the bed while smacking a chair on him. And he's asking who did this. So, so the bad guy himself is not that much though, but either brutality, he doesn't care about whether the guys are in the hospital bed. He goes and throws a chair at them, starts hitting with it. But and then the final through was his commuter pass, basically. Sorry. They found through that, and then they sent some guys at his house. They put his family in the basement, saying, "Don't call 911." And then he takes on a lot of the bad guys, pretty much all the bad guys of the house, beats them all up with a bat or shooting them. Oh, before that, I forgot to mention beforehand of that, where he gets caught by the bad guy's right-hand guy. He gets put in the trunk, but then he gets out of it, causes the car to crash, and the one guy, the bad guy's lead hench guy, he's pinned under the car, like have his body pinned to the car, and I thought it was very funny where Bob Odenkirk as Hutch, he starts explaining his story to the guy who was pinned down, like what the business he worked in. Like, he used to be what was called an auditor, and like he let this one guy go. That then he ended up living a good life. Wife and having a family, and so they gave Bob Odenkirk there that he wants to have a family. He wants to not be a part of this business anymore. So, and then also I like the fact that halfway through his story, the guy is dead. I'm like, that was pretty funny. I mean, like, he's sitting there talking halfway through his story. All of a sudden, he just drops dead afterwards. I thought it was pretty funny. It was. And then we get back at the fight scene at his house, and then ties up the guys in this basement, sets his house on fire, and that's when we have Lee Armstrong. Yeah, I think it was Lee Armstrong. What a Wonderful World playing. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And then you get some bad guys going to Christopher Lloyd, and I was surprised by Christopher Lloyd. After this scene happened, I was like, great job, Christopher Lloyd. Where the two bad guys, they think they got the drop on Christopher Lloyd because he's like thinking he's like sleeping in his chair. So they point the gun at him. Christopher Lloyd holds the gun barrel like so, and then, surprise, has a secret shotgun under his blanket. Bam, bam. That was awesome of Christopher Lloyd. I did not see that with what Christopher Lloyd would do. And so, getting back with the bad guy, he's at his club and singing karaoke, and then Bob Odenkirk, he goes to where the guy has his money stash. Takes a machine gun and starts blasting people. Then burns all of his money, and then he's at the table in front of the bad guy, having a dinner, and he has a claymore with him. So, and you get a nice car chase scene where you have Pat Benatar's Heartbreaker playing. You're a heartbreaker, dream maker. Don't you mess around, no. Although, despite I do like the song Heartbreaker, But I think it just didn't fit in a car chase like a film like this. So yeah, if I have a nitpick about the song choice of Heartbreaker playing during the car chase, I just didn't think it didn't fit the film. But although I do like the song in general, I still do. I still like that song, but it just didn't fit that action scene in Nobody though. So after that, after he goes and buys after he bought the place where his work was at from Michael Ironside with all these bars of gold, so they make it to reset. They set traps, which I do like to see. And it was fun, you know. And it was a very fun third act in this building. Christopher Lloyd gets in on it. Razia's who plays his half brother. He gets on with the sniper, and it's a very fun, very fun action scenes. Very fun gunfights. And when I noticed that they did use some practical blood squibs in this, I'm like, wow! In today's age, everything will be CGI blood. But here it proves that they can still use practical blood squibs. That's nice to see. And then how they got rid of the bad guy. I really like this idea where Bob Odenkirk takes a piece of glass. You know, it's like bulletproof glass, right? And he takes the claymore because Bob Odenkirk, he's standing behind the bulletproof glass, right? Well, he takes the claymore and puts it in front of him, and where that way he'll be probably absorb the damage, and sends him flying back. But then at the same time, he blasts the main bad guy, and the he's barbecued, you know, so half his body's barbecued. And I like how he used that. That was kind of like I would say original idea. I never seen that before with a claymore. So yeah, that was a good idea. It was. And then after all that, the next day when they're trying to buy try to find another house to live, and now that Bob Odenkirk's back in this business, you know, it's like John Wick, you know, like, you want me back? I'm back. He's back in that business again, so yeah. And that's when he's back with being interrogated. Back with being interrogated by the police with his cat. Who are you? I'm nobody. Yeah, it says right here. Where is it? Where's that tagline? I don't know where that tagline went, but it was like, don't mess with I forgot the line. That's why. Yeah, I forgot how that would go though, but and yeah, that's pretty much about it, you know. And then after that was when Christopher Lloyd and Razia, they're driving down this highway in a motorhome that's filled with guns. So, yeah, but why did I forget again? God damn it! Oh, Nobody. Duh. I had it right here in my hands. I thought that Nobody was a very fun, entertaining action movie, and it's definitely one of my favorite films this year. Let alone one of the best action films I've seen as of late. I mean, I'm glad that the guy that directed Hardcore Henry got another chance, and he made a much more successful film. So I'm glad the director of Hardcore Henry got another job like this. So I'm glad that's a big positive. The action scenes was with Winnie the Pooh, actually, well, how it was for all the characters, like Tigger, Rabbit, and Piglet and Pooh. The voices were still fine, as for Kyle, well, my name, but how she was in the movie, so I'm getting a little confused here. I'm starting to fall asleep, or my eyes are drooping right now, so that's why I apologize for that. But regardless of all that, I love Nobody. Like I said, the action scenes, the character, Bob Odenkirk's character build up, knowing about his life and all that stuff. And by the end of the movie, he's basically back into the business. That's what I'm trying to say. But I highly enjoyed this film. It's my third favorite film this year. Like I said, second first is Willy's Wonderland and Malignant. But this is my third favorite film this year. And it's sad, for action scenes, it was much more brutal than the Mortal Kombat, than the new Mortal Kombat movie, sad to say. Yeah, Mortal Kombat had my favorite kill, which was of the Buzzsaw hat. But that was the best kill of the movie, though. But it's sad that the rest of the movie was boring. But here, it wasn't boring, and it had more action than the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie. And that's freaking sad. See? I feel like burping on Mortal Kombat. But yeah. But they're going to still do another one regardless, though. No matter what it takes. So. Yeah, but Nobody, I definitely give it a thumbs up. It's my top 3 favorite film this year. Like I said, I put Malignant and Willy's Wonderland above this for number 2 and number 1. But number 3 is still good. I love Nobody. And the guy who did John Wick, I love that was in the vein of John Wick. I definitely saw that in the vein of John Wick. The director of Hardcore Henry did a really awesome job. Hopefully with this film and maybe some other couple films, he get more jobs, please. Because he did an awesome job with 101 Dalmatians, the 96 remake. So I don't know what to say. I thought he did a great job. I'm glad to see that he got another job. But Nobody, I enjoyed the cast. Bob Odenkirk was a badass. Christopher Lloyd, he became a badass. It was nice to see. Llya, who played his half brother, he did fine for what he did. Connie Nielsen. What else? Move that all the way. Now, I forgot what I was going to say now. Damn it. Sorry. But regardless of what I said, though, I still enjoy the characters. So, but that's my movie review for Nobody. Who are you? I'm Nobody. But I still very enjoyable action film. Best one I put up with Hardcore Henry and Dread, Rambo 4. I'll probably put The Kingsman: The Golden Circle, the sequel, above those. So yeah, but I definitely give a thumbs up to Nobody. And if you've seen this, I recommend you check out Nobody. And who is fans of Better Call Saul, you would like Bob Odenkirk in this role, different role for him. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, so that's my quick review for Nobody. Christopher Lloyd was badass. Same with everyone else. But thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next movie review. Later.